I played football in junior high and in high school, and it turned out that I wasn't that great of an athlete. There was a time when it looked like I was pretty good, and I thought I could be an NFL player, but you could tell that the DNA didn't work out. But I never turned out to be that guy that wanted to take a lot of risk and do the hitting and all of that. And so when the whole scouting journey comes around, I was willing to do all the back end stuff and work hard, go to the campouts, do all that. But I wasn't going to be the backpacker, mountain climber kind of a guy. But when my youngest son started coming up into scouting, I made a commitment that I wanted to go to Philmont with him. And I worked hard to get in shape, to hike. And we ended up in Philmont in one of the most phenomenal trips that I can ever fathom in my life. And I'm scared because we're going to go up and down these mountains. And, I'm wondering, is it going to blow my heart out? Am I going to be able to make this? And it started out pretty doggone well. And then we got to this deal called Black Mountain. And it's not the tallest mountain, but it's got one of the meanest ascents and a mean descent of any of the mountains that are in Philmont. And we're down below about a quarter of a mile from the top of that deal. Sam Francis is our scoutmaster and the scout leader. My son is the scout leader for the deal, and we're laying around trying to get our breath, and finally Sam Francis stands up, and in a kind of a gladiator moment, utters out words that I cannot repeat in here, and that shouldn't be said during scouting, by the way, John. But the next thing you know, these boys, these 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old boys rocketed up this mountain, and this 50-something-year-old guy at the time is looking at that and going, I can do that. And so I started running up the side of this mountain and started blowing my heart out, man. I mean, I get up to the top of this deal, and it's just, and then we start coming down the mountain, and it's a bunch of scree, and you're slipping around, and I get sick. I get dehydrated. I'm out of it. And my son, Keaton, comes and grabs my then 45-pound backpack and says, I got it, Dad, and starts carrying it down. And we finally get to our camp, and I'm doing everything I can to recover from this because I'm feeling sick. Got up the next morning, was feeling 60, 70%, and we continue on our hike. And then within a couple of days, we end up at the iconic Tooth of Time, and this is, an epic visual, but not a very technical climb. And we're standing at the base of the Tooth of Time, and it's nothing but boulders. And I'm standing down there looking up at this thing, and I'm looking at all these boulders, and I'm going, I cannot do this. This is stupid. I'm going to kill myself on this deal. But of course, the 18-year-old reptilian brain kicks in, and I start climbing up this deal, and the boys are gone. They're gone and probably to the top, and I look over, and there's my son Keaton, and I say, go on, boy, go on up there. He goes, no, we're either together in this, we're either going to get to the top together, or we're going to not get to the top together. So now I'm doubly motivated, and I'm making my way up to the top, and it actually turned out not to be that big of a deal. It was just the fear factor in my mind. And what was amazing from a scouting point of view is when I got to the top, all the boys were gone. And what was left were men. And it was one of the most extraordinary experiences of my entire life to witness these young boys making their journey into manhood at Philmont through scouting. And that's really what scouting is all about. Now, if I'm honest, not every boy made it into manhood up there. We had to nourish a few across the finish line. And by the way, James Cumby is an Eagle Scout, and he is a finisher. So look, when you're thinking about reaching into your back pocket today, it's all about forming young boys and young girls into young men, into young women. And I have witnessed that over my scouting career with my sons, with Troop 990 in the Bee Cave District, in the capital area, Boy Scouts of America, right here in the middle of Austin, Texas.